soulbound abilities you control trigger as though all creatures you control were unpaired.
No.
Wander into the presbytery. This is a like custom dungeon that they've come up with.
Sorry, I was not expecting wander into the presbytery. 2 mana for an unconditional first strike is stupid.
So many cards that I've looked at before where I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's broken, but I don't know how, so fuck it, that's fine.
Oh, I got you. I know like every card.
Yeah.
At least every relevant card.
Oh, then you do not know any of these cards. The first card we're looking at is John Maldhound, King Goon.
Okay. Understood.
John Maldhound, King Goon. 5 mana Grixis 2/5. Creatures you control have haste. Whenever a blocking creature you control dies, draw a card. Whenever an attacking creature you control dies, John Maldhound, King Goon deals 2 damage to each creature that blocked this turn. Whenever a creature you control dies while not in combat, each opponent loses 1 life.
Okay, I inherently am just not a fan of cards that reward you for sitting back on blockers and doing nothing.
Me either, and I mean, me being an aristocrat as the King Goon is somewhat appropriate, but God, I hate being an aristocrat. I want to be like a Zergo-esque commander.
Yeah, like, I don't like whenever a blocking creature you control dies, draw a card. It's not like the strongest thing in the world, right? But it encourages like pretty unfun play patterns for commander where you kind of just sit back on a ton of blockers and you don't move the game forward. That shit's annoying.
Chump mode, yeah. What if we switched attacking creature text and blocking creature text? So attacking creatures become cards and then blocking creatures are just pseudo better blockers because it deals 2 damage. And so it's like I might get my get back, but the juicy advantage is if they die swinging.
I think that would be a lot more easily shown as like blocking creatures you control get +2/+0, but then that doesn't really feel Grixis, does it?
No, but you. Yeah.
I'm thinking about like Grixis crash outs and stuff like that, right?
Right.
Whenever a blocking creature you control dies, like return to the battlefield tapped or something would be pretty funny.
That would be so good. Holy shit.
Well, you get a decayed counter and then it can't block anymore, and you get 1 attack with it and then it dies.
Oh, that's genius.
That would be a pretty fun
design. Yeah. Black, bring it back with Decayed, then it gets the card guaranteed, but has to crash out. I like that a lot.
Yeah, and you also, of course, can't block with it, so...
Yeah, that's beautiful. I like that. This is Ouroboros, Cycle of Death, a Jund card. Oh, a 5/4 Saga creature. So many fucking words. Holy God.
Yeah, I don't think Saga creatures were built for this amount of wordage.
They were not. They were built for something. It was not for literacy. Saga 1 is you fight something. So it's basically soft removal. 4 mana, you deal 5 damage to something.
All right, we're already in like Flame Tunkavu murderous Choop territory. Right. So this is like pack 1, pick 1 god tier draft card already.
Oh, it's also Death Touch Lifelink. Oh Jesus! And it's one mana regenerated.
Okay, so this is mythic. This is a mythic draft common.
Mythic rare that people are demanding is banned out of limited. Step 2, mill 3, get an extra land. Step 3, Underworld Breach for historic cards.
Wait.
Step 3 is historic cards breach.
This is literally like almost as good as Kethis on chapter 3, and Kethis is a fucked up magic card. That's hilarious. Well, you can't reactivate this, so you can't do like the combo lines with Kethis like you normally would be able to. Normally you'd like get a bunch of like Mox Opals out of the graveyard and legend rule them each, and then you would exile 2 new legendaries from your graveyard and then cast all the Mox Opals again with Kethis. You can't do this with that, or that with this. So it is healthier than Kethis. Now that's not like, if we're comparing it to Kethis the Hidden Hand, however.
I mean, so it only being able to attack once helps the 5/4 Death Touch Lifelink for 4 mana a lot. Right, but the fight and the regeneration is crazy. Like, I get to fight, and if you had you have to chump block this, and I probably killed the thing that you would chump. It's way too good. It has to be peeled back. You get to pick where, but it has to be peeled back.
The last 2 lines of text in like the giant block area can just go. If you just have Death Touch Lifelink on the 5/4, you're like already set.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're doing with whenever you sacrifice a Saga, you get 1 colorless. Like that's a fun
I think they just want to make
like,
this a Saga commander and then escape sagas out. Like I can see the bad commander play pattern that we're doing this for. And in every situation other than the very specific and goofy I play Jund sagas, it's so heinous.
You can also replay Ouroboros.
Right.
Yeah, that shit's fucked up.
Yeah, and so you just permanently replay Ouroboros with your permanently increasing land drops and mill. Nezarec, Final God of Pain, 5 mana, impressionist art style. I like that. 5/5 with trample. On combat damage, you and that opponent wheel. Until end of turn, you can color fixed cast anything they discarded. And when you cast a spell you've stolen, each opponent loses life equal to that spell's mana value. I kind of like that. I think that's cool.
So I want to compare this to a card, Elder Brain, which is 7 mana for this sort of similar effect. You exile someone's hand,
right,
and then they get a new hand.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can play cards in the exiled hand. That's 7 mana for a flyer.
But doesn't that let you do it forever? Like as long as you steal it?
Yeah, but this one also has the line of text at the end, which reminds me of Brainstealer Dragon, which does a very similar thing. I think maybe this should be 6 mana.
I don't think it should, and here's why. I try to cram Elder Brain and Brainstealer Dragon into every commander deck I can, and they fucking suck. And so maybe if this one's pushed as hell, I can play with it.
Okay, I like that. However, maybe 6 mana, give it like a little ward 2.
Okay,
ward 2.
Yeah, 6 mana ward 2. I would agree with that. So a little bit more expensive, a little bit of defense so you can actually get it off. But I like this effect a lot. I like that it's...
I love this card. I love that the Theft player has to kill me.
All right, let's go to the next one, which is Savaththun, the Witch Queen. 5 mana Esper Hive God. This looks Destiny too. 3/5. On damage, look at the top 3 cards of a player's library and exile them face down. Reveal 2 of the cards exiled this way. Target opponent may let you play them for as long as they remain exiled. If they don't, you free cast the other face down card.
This is awesome. This is so cool.
That kind of rips. That's fucked up. Like, I would shoot this bitch on sight. You never get ward. You never get ward for her, but that does rip.
Shell game.
That rips pretty fucking hard.
I'm a big fan of fucking like sphinxes and stuff, and this feels like a real sphinxy effect, you know?
Yeah, that's sphinx coded as hell. Her boobs are not big enough to be a sphinx, so get on that. But otherwise, hell yeah.
I'm into that.
Okay, next we have the Witness, 6 mana, all pips, which is bold of you. A 6/6 with menace and protection from artifacts. The final shape. All creatures are All creatures are artifacts. Same is true for creature spells that aren't on the battlefield, so stuff on the stack is an artifact. Whenever the Witness deals combat damage to an opponent, you gain control of an artifact that player controls. I worry that there are follow-on effects from all creatures are artifacts that you have not considered sufficiently for the effect being, I take your creature when I hit you.
So it is Dimir locked. So we're not getting like Bane of Progress like a Yigger deck would be. So like there's Hurkyl's Recall, I guess. That's kind of funny though. If you Hurkyl's Recall someone, that's the one in a blue, return all artifacts to their owner's hands or target player.
Okay, target player. I like that as an interaction. I play my commander. It's 6. I play 6 mana. Next turn I pay 2 and I Rivers Rebuke you because my commander sucks.
The pro artifact is also really funny because you can't get Solituded. Solitude's an artifact when it enters and you can't target it because it's an artifact. I think it should maybe say all other creatures are artifacts in addition to other types. I feel like this having protection from artifacts might cause some weirdness.
Yeah.
There. And then also just like, it's kind of unintuitive that this isn't an artifact creature. So if I either make this an artifact creature and say all other creatures or just say all other creatures. I don't know the lore well enough. Yeah, menace and protection from artifacts is also hilarious because if all creatures are artifacts, the menace does fucking nothing. You're already unblockable. What is the menace doing?
Being shitty. What else would it be doing?
Well, menace is a goated keyword, but not if you're already unblockable.
Yeah, so real. All right, so this one needs a little bit of help. None of this would be possible without support from our highest tier Patreon members, so please join me and Little Nadu as we take a moment to thank Badger King, Sussedin, Christian B, Ryan A, Adam S, Solar Movie, Biggest Dickus, Kyle, Jess HW, Alpha Dog 2064, Crimson Viper, Zelenor, Otterfire, Dad Out for Milk, Kyler P, Bolus Brigade, Derek H, Phelan, B Leave, Dungeon Masters Consortium, Zach G, Bobby Joe Lord, Talamar Von Geist, Troper and their 37 different identities, Bradley T,
Bo, Beefcake, and Silky Wilkie. Thank you all, and enjoy the video. Hi everybody, welcome to the Mango Money Moment, a new segment that exists only because YouTube has told us that if their automatic mid-roll placer doesn't believe that my video has enough dead air in it to constitute a transitional phase, they will not put monetized ads in the middle, which can really cut into the editor's leak budget. So we're gonna have these moments where we just stop and stare for a little bit.
Riven of 1,000 voices. Of 1,000 entire voices. 5 mana colorless, 4/4. When you cast it, exile a permanent you control or permanent card in your graveyard. All non-land permanents you control other than Riven have the abilities of the exiled card. Oh no. Whenever you activate or trigger an ability of a non-land permanent you control, other than this ability, you lose 2 life. I thought this card was going to be good. Okay, so Elk, when you flicker this with Felia, what are you exiling?
It's when you cast the spell, so you can't flicker with Felia.
Shut up. When you Hercules recall yourself after you've played the Dimir commander and you recast this, what are you exiling?
So as a commander, this is kind of like weird because colorless doesn't have a lot of really good options. I would say like there's a good few homes for this. So in any monocolor deck, you can just like nab a, what's it called? It's the 4 mana Scepter of Eternal Glory.
Oh.
Nykthos is also really good.
Yeah.
You can make a fuckload of mana with this thing. That does involve exiling the permanent and tapping 5 mana. So, but you Nykthos, you cast it, you exile the Nykthos, and then all of your lands are now Nykthoses. And then you have a huge burst of mana.
Well, no. Non-land permanents are Nykthoses. Okay. And then you lose 2 life every time you tap them, which is, I think, okay. Yeah,
so Scepter of Eternal Glory is like the major mana engine I'm thinking of then. Because you just like tap each for 3. You can do that in colorless too with like a Thran Dynamo too, so.
You just make 1 million. You have 100 money.
You need Revelark and Grey Merchant of Asphodel, and you go in.
I hate you. Don't say that. I googled Mossfire Valley to make myself feel better. Just make them all filter lands.
You can almost assuredly do some like Revelark bullshit with this. All non-land permanents. So if you put a reanimate on death on Riven, I'm sure there's an effect like that. When this thing dies, you return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. Can't you just have Riven forever and all creatures forever?
Well, yeah, but after the first time, because it will forget each time Riven leaves and comes back, because it's not counter-based exile. Yeah, which I think is a good thing. So I like this. I like this enough to let you rock with it. The Janitor, which is a 3 mana Orzhov creature. Well, Orzhov to cast 2/2, Mentor Soulbond Ward 1. As long as the Janitor is paired, it and each of those creatures gets +1/+1 for each creature paired with the Janitor. If the paired creature is a Cleric, the Janitor gains Cleric spells you cast cost Mardu less to cast. Creatures you control can be paired more than once, and soulbound abilities you control trigger as though all creatures you control were unpaired.
No.
But you love clerics, Elk. Think about the clerics.
Okay. So the Mardu less to cast will reduce generic cost because it doesn't say otherwise. So you get a free Edgewalker, and then you proceed to like fucking storm with clerics. Which is Edgewalker is already very good. So having another creature in a cleric's deck is not an issue. That's like not even a requirement.
I have seen this before, and it's you get a Voltron commander that also lets you just rip through your deck.
So this is just like a polycule commander also?
Yes, that's the point of the deck. It's a polycule of horny clerics.
So it's going to be a nightmare to track where you have like 6 Soulbond creatures in play.
Yeah.
And then you play a new one, and then all 6 Soulbond onto that one. And that works for tokens too, right?
Yes. They said yes in all caps, by the way. This is like, yes, you see the vision.
Okay, I would say non-token creatures, please. Can we at least do that? That's where I'm starting. It's already also still hard to track with like multiple Soulbond things. Because like imagine Cathar's Crusade like counters headaches, but you need to track which permanents are attached to which permanents.
Oh my god. Yeah, all right, let's keep the good times rolling with Angel of Strings. 4 mana, Kindred Artifact, Angel with Flash. When it ETBs or dies, destroy a creature. Whenever a card leaves an opponent's graveyard, creatures get +1/+1 till end of turn. At the beginning of each player's end step, sack this artifact if that player's graveyard is empty, and it is a miracle cost for 2 mana.
At rare, this isn't like the worst thing I've ever read. I'm trying to think. It needs to say whenever one or more cards leave an opponent's graveyard. Because if you just crack a Relic of Progenitus and your creatures get plus 60, plus 60, that's a problem.
A sub-theme of this deck is exiling from the graveyard. This is a, I think, slightly retooled version that is much better. Thank you, Madra.
Yeah, but it needs to say one or more. Because if the Muldrotha player is sitting over there with 40 cards in their graveyard, and you go sack my Remorseful Cleric, exile your graveyard, and then you go all of my creatures get plus 40, that can't be allowed.
I Bojuka Bog and then send you into heaven. Yeah, so I think if we did one or more, it would be good. That way you can stack. You can try to. They are exorcists. Period. Madra, I need you to understand. We get that. We get the flavor. The flavor being good doesn't mean that we can just be like, so I win for 2 mana. Because the flavor of that still works with them being exorcists. It's just if you perform for every unique exorcism you perform, you get stronger. But if you just happen to luck out and you have a bunch of dumb baby ghosts and you get rid of 60 at once, you don't get to, win the game for free there.
Yeah, I also don't like the flash on this card a lot. So Miracle already lets you flash things if you draw a card on your opponent's turn. I think that's a really fun play pattern. And I think that just this having flash is just like too much of a buyout. 4 mana, sorcery speed, destroy 2 target creatures, also get this Anthem effect is like already very good. Yeah. So I would say maybe just cut the flash.
All right, next we have Apocalyptic Star, double X Mardu. Deal X damage to each opponent and each permanent they control. If any permanent dealt damage by Apocalyptic Star would die this turn, exile it instead. Wander into the Presbytery. This is a custom dungeon that they've come up with.
Sorry, I was not expecting wander into the Presbytery.
And then we have Miracle for X and 2. So you can Miracle, spend a lot less on it, or it's just a big fucking one-sided exile board wipe, which I'm mostly okay with. Mardu has way less top. If you gave this to blue, I start getting very fucking uncomfortable. If this was a Jeskai board wipe, I'm pissing myself.
Yeah, this is Bonfire of the Damned with upside. I think maybe this should be X and actual Mardu, not X red hybrid Orzhov. X and a Mardu would feel fine to me, I think. Because you're already having the X by miracling this. So I think I like X and a Mardu more. It's a fine card because here, when you do X is 7, it's 5 damage to everything your opponents control and your opponents, whereas with X and a Mardu, it's 4 damage. Maybe I've talked myself out of it. That sounds kind of fair. 7 is typically the amount of mana I want to see ending the game, and 5 damage is pretty decent, though it is one-sided. I don't know what wandering into the Presbytery does. That's gonna entirely change.
Yeah. Next we have the Battle-Hardened Priest, a 2 mana 2/2 with first strike and gives all clerics haste.
2 mana for an unconditional first strike is stupid. It's such a good blocker.
Incredibly good blocker. It gives itself haste as well. So it's 2 mana 2/2 with first strike and haste, and other shit has haste. I think this is one of those things where I think this is a consequence of it being designed by a commander player for their commander deck, because in commander you probably don't feel why this is super broken, and then you play one game of draft and have to play against this thing and you tear all of the hair out of your head. That's what happened to me.
I think this is fine if it casts actual Mardu, so red, white, black, period. Or you give it first strike while attacking other clerics you control have haste.
Oh yeah, make it first strike, but only when he's in battle and he's not just a really fucking good blocker, he's just a really good hitter. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I could see that. Yeah. All right, and then we have Book of Immulation. 3 mana artifact with Snare. Snare is disguise. It's like Yu-Gi-Oh! Trap card energy, but for artifacts. So you can play it face down, then flip it later. And this artifact,
so if you play face down, is it an artifact?
I believe so, yeah. It's a face down artifact. When this artifact ETBs or is turned face up, exile target player's graveyard, then it deals damage to a permanent equal to the number of cards exiled this way. If no cards are exiled this way, 1 target creature gets +5/+5 and wither until end of turn. Then sack this artifact. So this is, hey, do you play Muldrotha? What if you died for 3 mana? Wait, no, permanent. Never mind. Good. Excellent. This seems fine. This blows up a creature or makes one of my creatures good and then goes away.
Yeah, it's a removal spell. and also a pump spell. I think +5/+5 is a lot, because on turn 3, there's a chance that someone doesn't have a graveyard, and then you go +5/+5 Wither, but that's just like a 3-mana 5/5 pump spell. That just doesn't feel that red, is my issue.
Yeah, and I think this is, again, a thing of, in Commander, turn 3, somebody blows a card to hit you for 7 instead of 2. I don't know. I'm not freaking out. I do like an over dramatic, oh, and then I don't care.
This is doable as like +2/+1 or +3/+1 and Wither. +5/+5 is a lot. I know there's like a little bit of a hoop, but like on turn 3 when this can come down, it's like that's not a hoop.
That's true.
Yeah, it's just like red in particular. Like I respect the Wither. It's just like red in particular pumps power more than toughness. That's like more red.
All right, next we have Book of Unmaking, which is another snare effect. But this one's 5 mana, or the snare is Mardu. ETBs are turned face up. For each opponent, exile a permanent they control, and its controller loses 2 life. Repeat the process for each opponent with an empty graveyard, then sacrifice this artifact. Alright, so the sacrifice this artifact means we can't give it the like O-ring text of you exile it under this thing because they get it back instantly. So I think 3 mana. So here's the thing. I'm thinking of Grasp of Fate, which is 3 mana. I get to hit everybody once, but they can get it back. This is
that's the same mindset I have right now.
This is conceivably turn 3, by the way, because I can pay 2 colorless on turn 2 to face down it. Like the snare is barely alternate. It's really just a layaway. And so it's turn 3, same turn I could have cast Grasp of Fate. I get to exile 2 permanents you control, and you lose 4, and you have no way to say fucking anything about it. If it is core to the books that they have to be sacrificed, and we can't put anything under it, this has to get weaker somehow. Like they either have to gain life, or we have to tunnel in on what they're allowed to take, because this is just like wildly better than every other removal spell. Like let's look at what they just printed. It's like
even compared to Windgrace's Judgment.
Oh yeah, Windgrace's Judgment, same mana cost, destroy.
You can't split up Windgrace Judgment though. Like you can with this card. You can go 2 and 3 with this one. You can't go 2 and 3 with Windgraces. And good news, you can't flicker with Felia.
Great news. Great fucking news.
Because it sacrifices itself. I would just axe the repeat the process line.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, 1 rest in peace makes this the strongest. Because artifact recursion is not the hardest thing in Mardu. A rest in peace being on field makes this, you are in permanent jail. You are in permanent jail. You will never have any non-land permanents anymore. Fuck you. And then we have Elvaril with Archimedes, the Flame of Syracuse, an Azorius 0/1. Oh, it's Jeskai. For 2 mana, target creature attacks you this turn if able. It can't be blocked by creatures power 2 or greater this turn. Attacks us. Creatures with Defender you control have whenever an attacking creature deals combat damage to this creature, this creature deals X damage to the controller of the attacking creature, where X is the difference between this creature's toughness and the amount of damage dealt to it. If X is 0 or less, draw a card. This is, I mean, it's a flavor win because it's hilariously overcomplicated.
Yeah, I'm sad this card has nothing to do with buoyancy. Or screws.
It does, because if I toss you in the river, you'll fucking float. When I chuck you in a lake, you will float. So this has, I'm going to make you hit my defender. When you hit my defender, I will deal damage to you. So it's reverse propaganda. I'm going to make you punch me, and then I'm going to boing flip. If you are able to kill my thing, I get a card. That is cute. It's cute, and I think once it's banding. As soon as you understand it, sure, funny, holy words.
Yeah, this is also really funny. I wish they printed more effects that are like target creature attacks you if able, because I really do like Kazul. So this being said, Defender, I think there has to be a cleaner way to word this.
The Gatekeeper, 4 mana, 2/5. Permanents cannot enter from graveyards, libraries, or exile. You are casting your 1 spell from hand, and that's all you're getting.
Yeah, so notably, casting from exile still works, because it goes onto the stack and then onto the battlefield. So if you cast a spell from exile or cast a card from graveyard, like this doesn't stop Lurrus.
Okay, so you can't land drop from exile, and you can't and you can't like you can't reanimate, you can't tutor a creature from your library, but you can still cast exile spells.
Yeah, if someone casts Scapeshift and you flash this in, the Scapeshift does nothing. Crop rotation doesn't work. Ramp doesn't work.
Oh, hell, I'm sold to the gentleman who hates green.
Yeah, this is fine.
Oh, you can't flicker! Best card ever.
You can't flicker, that is true. They'll just stay in exile. If a permanent tries to change zones, it just stays in the zone it's in. Does Cascade work? Yes, because it goes on the stack. You're casting the spell. Things can enter from the stack.
Yeah, we can.
My fix is permanents cannot enter from the stack. they just stay on the stack forever.
You can't be stacked. Next, we have She Lovebirds card. Which is Curled Cards, a 4-mana red spell that says each opponent bridge shuffles their deck. Perfect, no notes. You could even take a mana off this. Citizen, Hero in the Making. 3-mana Whale Citizen. 3-mana, 3/4. No, fuck you. And is it? We don't get that.
Maybe it's downside.
Mask Up. 6 mana. If it would be returned to its owner's hand, exile it instead. You may cast it transformed. Oh, it transforms. Okay, flip turn. Deal damage equal to its power to target creature, then return it to your hand. So flip turn into Mask Up. What the fuck does this turn into? A 7/7 with first strike and haste. Beautiful. No fucking notes. On attack, deal damage equal to its power to each creature defending player controls.
It's Balefire Dragon. So maybe
Balefire Dragon has to hit.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Balefire Dragon has flying.
Balefire Dragon. Balance sold separately.
No. Chat's freaking out. You have to spend 9 mana to flip this.
You do have to spend quite a bit. Let me see how hard it would be.
Yeah, why does it need first strike is a very good question. Their board is gone.
Alright, so we have Hanto Embittered Loner. 3-mana Rakdos 2/3 first strike menace. Whenever he enters attacks, or whenever you lose 1 or more life during your turn, make a food.
Necropotence moment.
Shut up. Shut the fuck up.
Wall of Blood moment. Oh my god, there's so many ways to just pay 1 life at a time and control your life total in Rakdos.
I think that might have to be when you lose life for the first time. And then if you wanted that to be crazy, you could do first time each turn, and then you still have Wall of Blood moment on other people's turns, but we can't do even 1 or more. Like, I think the problem is the number of ways to go, okay, I pay 1. But we flip him into a 6/7 with first strike and menace. At the beginning of each end step, lose 3 life. Whenever you sack a creature or artifact, exile the top card of your library. You may play it during any food in which you sacrifice to food. This is my favorite backside instantly.
Yeah. Okay, I like this.
And now the front side making you 20 donuts makes sense, because the backside is yeah, it turns it into impulse draw for your aristocrat thing. I fuck with that. I still kind of think you have to pull the handbrake on the first time you lose life each turn.
This could just say whenever it enters or attacks.
Nah, I want to crank it more than that. Come on. This dude just loses. You do enters or attacks make a food? Because it's Rakdos food. We don't have green food. We don't have white food. I mean, I guess you just... what I don't like about enters or attacks is you still build the commander, but now the commander has nothing to do with food, and you do... generic aristocrats. That makes me sad.
I mean, there's like Asmarana, Madarista, Koldakar.
Right. I can cram enough to. I guess it's like,
because now you can turn your food into removal with Asmo,
right,
and that'll trigger the backside.
Okay, I could see that then. Then I think you absolutely have to cut the life loss thing down, perhaps entirely. The backside I really enjoy. Okay, we're going to free Elk at this point. Elk, thank you so much for joining this custom card review stream. We will talk later about when we schedule the next one. Everybody across my platforms, go follow 33 Elk on YouTube, Twitch, and Blue Sky, apparently. They are a very fun, funny, and intelligent creator who can teach you a lot about deck building and being cunty.